During the late 90s, the NBA took a bold stand, banning hip-hop culture from basketball. This move sparked an uproar, impacting everything from player morale to financial bottom lines. Ticket sales plummeted, merchandise gathered dust, and endorsement deals suffered. Dive into the insane and very much untold turmoil that ensued when the NBA banned hip-hop culture from basketball. In the late 80s and early 90s, a cultural revolution was brewing, and it found an unexpected ally in the NBA. The league, known for its high-flying dunks and buzzer beaters, became a playground for the vibrant beats and bold styles of hip-hop. This wasn't just a background soundtrack, it was a full-blown fusion of sports and music. As hip-hop music marched toward commercial success in the mid to late 90s, NBA All-Stars weren't just shooting hoops. They were launching record labels, starring in music videos, and even trying their hand at rapping. This movement had its roots in the Bronx, New York, where hip-hop culture, encompassing breakdancing, graffiti art, DJing, and rapping, first took shape. But it wasn't just about the music. Sneaker culture, deeply intertwined with hip-hop, found a home in the NBA. Iconic lines like Michael Jordan's Air Jordans, Allen Iverson's Reeboks, and Shaquille O'Neal's own exclusive sneaker lines were more than just footwear. They were fashion statements. Speaking of fashion, when Allen Iverson entered the league in 1996, he didn't just bring his A game. He brought the essence of hip-hop with him. From his cornrows to his baggy clothes, Iverson was a walking, dribbling embodiment of the genre. This embrace of hip-hop culture by NBA stars raised eyebrows, sparking concerns among the league's more traditional corporate sponsors. The message was clear. Hip-hop's influence on basketball was undeniable, and it was here to stay. The influence of hip-hop on the NBA has only grown, permeating the atmosphere of contemporary basketball games. The genre's impact is evident in the music that blares during games, the fashion choices of the players, and the overall vibe of the sport. Partnerships like Westside Merchandising's collaboration with Youngboy Never Broke Again highlight the profitable marriage of hip-hop and basketball merchandising. One thing was clear: hip-hop has left an indelible mark on the NBA. But what are the financial benefits of hip-hop culture? Hip-hop's integration into the NBA sent social media engagement through the roof. Picture this: 78 million followers on Instagram, 13 billion video views in a season. Numbers that would make any marketer's head spin. It's like the NBA hit the social media jackpot, drawing in fans from every corner of the globe, especially the younger crowd under 25. Then, there's the merchandise game. Imagine hip-hop icons redesigning NBA team logos for a fresh line of apparel. This collaboration isn't just about style. It's a revenue-generating powerhouse, putting NBA merchandise right up there with iconic brands like the New York Yankees. The NBA's global outreach, powered by hip-hop's universal appeal, is like a full-court press on the world stage. With initiatives like prime-time airings in key international markets and targeted regional focus, the NBA is scoring points across the globe. And let's not forget the player endorsements. Think Michael Jordan and Nike, a partnership that transcended sports and shaped sneaker culture, streetwear, and even lifestyle. Jordan's deal didn't just change the game. It rewrote the rulebook on athlete endorsements, turning players into brand ambassadors with the power to influence markets far beyond the basketball court. But here's the twist. What happens when you take hip-hop out of the equation? The world of sport is certainly bigger than the goals. The team competition you see on the outside. It is a world where billions of dollars rhyme with entertainment. A financial story no tycoon wouldn't want the normal sport fans to hear, but here at Wealth Herald, we demystify those myths to you and bring you all the hidden secrets behind the world of sports. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to never miss the money secrets in the sports world we bring to you every week. The league, once surprised and uneasy with its stars embracing hip-hop culture, made a controversial move. They banned ninja-style headbands, a trend popularized by players like Jimmy Butler and Karl Anthony Towns. Why? Officially, it was about safety, but whispers suggested it was deemed too unprofessional, too hip-hop for the league's taste. Former Commissioner David Stern, sensing the unease of traditional corporate sponsors, decided it was time for a wardrobe overhaul. In 2005, he dropped a dress code bombshell. Players known for their relaxed, hip-hop-inspired style had to swap baggy pants for business casual. This new rulebook had a list. No sleeveless shirts, shorts, t-shirts, or jerseys off the court. No headgear during interviews. No sunglasses indoors. No chains over clothes. It seemed like a direct hit at the players' personal styles, especially those like Paul Pierce, known for their flashy jewelry. Players like Jason Richardson saw this as a direct attack on black players, a move to dilute their cultural expression. Stephen Jackson, still reeling from the malice at the Palace incident, called it a racial statement. "They don't want us too hip-hop," he said. Even Marcus Camby, who took it lightly, joked about needing a clothing allowance to comply. But beneath the humor and frustration, there was a serious undertone. The ban on hip-hop elements wasn't just about clothes. It was about controlling player expression and creativity. Despite the NBA implementing this under the best interests of the game clause, players didn't lose their right to challenge it. The NBA's attempt to redefine professionalism was more than a dress code. It was a cultural shift. Of course. What you will expect from this are voices rising up against this decision. First off, the ban's effectiveness was heavily questioned. Let's face it, slapping on a suit doesn't change a person's essence. The superstars of today, like LeBron James and Kevin Durant, might rock the menswear market, but they still risk hefty fines for straying from these rules. It's like telling an artist not to use certain colors, limiting and, frankly, a bit absurd. Then there's the issue of stifling individuality and self-expression. Hip-hop is more than just music. It's a culture, a way of life that's deeply intertwined with the NBA. By trying to mute this, the league risked dimming the vibrant personalities that make the game so enthralling. Imagine if players couldn't showcase their unique styles and voices. Basketball would lose its soul. Public perception and backlash were another headache for the NBA, while the league's hip-hop embrace generally scored points for cultural appeal. There were murmurs of it being a marketing ploy rather than a genuine representation. The NBA has since grown more supportive of players' voices, particularly on social issues, but the balancing act between diverse fan opinions and authenticity remains a tightrope walk. And let's not forget the racial and cultural undertones of this debate. On one side, proponents for hip-hop in the NBA argued for the celebration of diversity and inclusivity. On the other, concerns about commodification and misappropriation of the culture loomed large. This wasn't just a basketball issue. It was a societal one, reflecting deeper discussions about race and culture. When the NBA attempted to distance itself from hip-hop culture in the late 90s, the financial shockwaves were felt throughout the league. Picture this, a drastic decline in merchandise sales and a noticeable dip in cultural relevance. The league's dress code, which many saw as targeting minority players, sparked accusations of racial discrimination and hypocrisy. Players like Marcus Camby and Jason Richardson didn't mince words, calling out the policy as kinda racist and targeting black players. But there's more to the story. The ban meant missing out on big bucks from hip-hop related endorsements. Think about it. NBA stars rocking hip-hop brands was a goldmine for both parties. Restricting players from engaging with hip-hop culture could have meant saying goodbye to lucrative deals. And let's not forget the global appeal of the NBA. Despite the bans and restrictions, the league couldn't deny the unique fashion sense and style of its players. Fast forward to 2015, and the NBA is hosting its own all-star fashion show, acknowledging the players' swag. By 2018, they finally loosened up, letting players rock sneakers of any color during games. The NBA's revenue, now soaring over $10 billion annually, owes a lot to its global marketing efforts. With sponsorships bringing in $1.66 billion, they realized they couldn't afford to ignore the international appeal of hip-hop culture. Interestingly, franchises that embraced hip-hop culture in the 80s and 90s reaped financial benefits. They saw spikes in merchandise sales, gained global recognition, and upped their player marketability. Integrating hip-hop aesthetics meant more fans in the seats, higher ticket sales, and die-hard brand loyalty. From innovative marketing to halftime shows with hip-hop stars, these teams knew how to keep fans hooked. So, while the NBA flirted with distancing itself from hip-hop culture, it ultimately realized the financial power of this dynamic partnership. The league's evolution from restrictions to embracing individuality reflects not just a change in policy, but a savvy financial strategy to remain culturally relevant and financially robust. When the NBA decided to loosen its grip on hip-hop culture in the 90s, it was like a slam dunk in the world of cultural adaptation. The league quickly realized that embracing the beats and rhythm of hip-hop wasn't just cool. It was smart business. This move wasn't just about letting players express themselves. It was about connecting with fans on a real level, boosting the NBA's street cred and its bank account. Merchandise flew off the shelves, global recognition soared, and endorsements poured in like three-pointers in a playoff game. Fast forward to today, and the impact of the NBA's fling with pop culture is still felt like the echo of a great game in an empty arena. Integrating elements of pop culture, especially hip-hop, did more than just spice up the game. It changed the playbook on how sports and entertainment could jive together. The NBA became a trailblazer in showing how a sports league could groove with the times, keeping fans hooked and attracting new ones from all corners of the globe. Now, here's the real MVP move for modern sports organizations: inclusivity and cultural sensitivity. The NBA's 90s hip-hop story is a playbook on how embracing diversity in culture can win games off the court. It's about more than just tolerating different cultural expressions. It's about celebrating them, making fans feel like they're part of the team. This approach not only polishes the league's image, but also strengthens the bond between fans and the game. Just as the NBA felt the financial ripple of banning hip-hop culture, one player was making waves of his own. Michael Jordan, bigger than basketball, is up next, showcasing how Jordan's iconic career went beyond points scored to influence culture, fashion, and sports marketing. Get ready to revisit the greatness of MJ.